Step 6. By some miracle, I was able to treat my wounds at home without any infection. I knew going to the hospital would just raise questions. Questions that I couldn't give an answer to. So to keep from prying doctors in an extended hospital stay, I worked with what I had. And by the end of it, I looked like a store-bought mummy. The bandages around my head to cover my ear and eye wound I changed daily, and made sure to clean the wounds as delicately as I could. Still, the pain was excruciating. After a couple of days, the maximum of the time I wanted to wait, I started step 6. For this step, I rearranged my living room. I pushed the sofa and love seat to the center of the room, and I set them to face one another. Then I pushed a small coffee table in between. Mind you, while doing all this, I bumped into every piece of furniture I owned, as I was still getting used to having only one eye for sight. With a few bruises, all the furniture was in place. I set 2 candles on either side of the coffee table. Once I was ready, I sat down on the love seat and placed a solid gold coin in the center of it. It had taken a few trips to a couple different pawn shops, but eventually I found one that suited my purpose. Once the coin was placed, I lifted my hand from it. The lights went out from in my home, and the 2 candles ignited. From darkness before me, a large white-gloved hand reached out and snatched up the coin. Slowly, a perfectly circular face appeared from the darkness, across from me. It was snow white, and had 2 small beady black eyes, and an oversized toothy grin. On its head was a tall worn black top hat that had a few patches sewn onto it. The large gloved white hands appeared again and hovered in the darkness. The scene was cartoony, but the gaze from those solid black eyes, its much too large grin, it just sent a shiver down my spine. The thing tilted its hat at me, and out of the darkness came floating 3 wooden bowls. They were worn and smooth from years of use, and they landed with a click on the wooden table. They lay face down and twirled in a small circle on the wood before stopping in a straight line. Step 6. The game of chance. There were no monsters or threat of pain to this step, but still, I risked it all. If I guessed wrong, one of my senses would be taken away from me. I had no choice of which one would be taken. I had to guess 6 times. If I guessed wrong all 6 times, my life would be the final thing that I lost. The face spun in the darkness, like a rolling wheel, and the hands clapped loudly together. From between the hands a purple key appeared. It rotated in the air, letting me admire it, before floating down onto the table. The face's smile seemed to grow, and one of the gloved hands reached out, picked up the bowl in the center, and placed it over the purple key. At an inhumane speed, the white-gloved hands started to slide the bowls around. I tried at first to keep my eye on the bowl, but it proved to be impossible. I resorted to staring at its face, which spun and spun. The hand slid the bowls around the table. Then it stopped, and extended its hands in a motion for me to pick one. I knew my best chances were to go with my gut and leave no room for doubt, so I settled with picking the first bowl my eye landed on. I reached out and placed my finger on the bowl to my left. One gloved hand reached out and slowly lifted the bowl. There lay the purple key. The gloved hands clapped, and the face spun in that hypnotic circle again. Then, like before, they went to work rearranging the bowls. Again, there was no point in watching, as they moved too fast for the human eye to see. This was all pure luck, pure chance, and praying that your 6th sense was strong enough to steer you in the right direction. The hand stopped and hovered in the darkness, waiting for me to choose. Without hesitating, I again chose the bowl on the left. Like before, the gloved hand reached out and slowly lifted the bowl. I couldn't help but smile at the sight of the purple key. This time, It didn't clap, and for a moment I could see that toothy smile turn into a frown before flipping back up. This time the bowl spun so fast the table appeared empty. All that I could see was the floating face and crooked hat staring at me from the darkness. Just as quickly as before, it stopped and awaited my choice. I reached down and picked the bowl to my right, even slower this time. The gloved hand reached down and lifted the bowl. I could almost cheer at the sight of that beautiful purple key. Only 3 more times. I was almost done. Angrily, the gloved hand slammed the bowl back down and violently shuffled the bowls. The coffee table rattled with the force of the movement, and the candles nearly threatened to tip over or fall off the table completely. The thing stopped and seemed to cross its arms as it awaited my choice. Its smile was still there, but not nearly as big as it had been. I reached out and picked the bowl in the middle. Quickly, a gloved hand snatched up the bowl. There it was. This time I cheered. I let out a quick yelp of triumph before quickly quieting myself. The smile was now a deep frown, and 2 black lines rested just above its beady eyes. It was mad, and I still wasn't out of danger yet. It slammed the bowls back down, and I recoiled at the coffee table split in 2. The bowls hovered above the broken wood and spun in the air. The face was now spinning too, quickly and hypnotically. I looked down at my lap, running my sweaty hands up and down my thighs. A gloved hand snapped at me to get my attention, and I looked up to see the face smiling once more. The smile now covered almost its entire face, and I could no longer see its black eyes. It gestured to the bowls and waited.